Are you feeling a little bit lost when it comes to long distance relationships? I'm Daria and welcome back to Salt's YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about 3 ways that you can navigate long distance dating if that is the route that you want to go down. We're going to talk about these top 3 tips, so subscribe to Salt if you have not already, and let's get into the first one. 1, you need communication. Again, I've heard the stories too, and there's so many scams out there, people that have met people, whether it was through online dating, whether it was through social media, and you thought this person was a real person, and it turned out to be completely not what you thought it was, a scam, maybe money was exchanged. I'm not talking about that, okay? Definitely use wisdom. I really want to emphasize that. Use wisdom. If something feels off to you, cut it off, okay? Cut it off, don't go any further. But if you are talking with someone and it does feel legit, let's say you did meet through social media, or let's say you met through an online group and they want to talk to you, whether it's via video chat, whether it's through the DMs, you definitely want to make sure that you two are communicating. You want to communicate. Now, you don't want to over communicate because this is new, and the thing that can happen with long distance relationships, if you're not careful, is you can get emotionally involved too quickly. So you definitely want to find the balance of making sure that you are talking, because you want to get to know this person. You want to see where their heart is. You want to get to know their character, who they are overall, right? You want to make sure that you're getting to know all facets of a person, but you don't want to over communicate to where you're getting emotionally attached too soon. So definitely find a balance. And if it's feasible, if it works out, you definitely want to meet in person as soon as possible, because what can really be a shame is that you have chemistry on the phone or you have chemistry on video, but in person it's lacking. So if you're able to, again, everybody's circumstances are different, but make sure that you're able to meet in person as soon as you can to make sure, okay, we have the same chemistry in the same room with each other, just like we have it on video. And in my case, that did work with my husband, and I was nervous about that, but when we were able to meet for the first time, it felt just as natural as it did when we would be on the phone or if we were chatting through video and even through text. So you want to make sure that you are talking, and you don't want to share too much too soon. Again, not wanting to get too emotionally attached too quickly, but definitely ask them, how long they've been living, where they're currently located, ask their favorite foods, just the little things, right? You don't want to get vulnerable too quickly either. So you definitely want to follow a nice pace, okay? Now, don't feel like there's a right or wrong way to do this, but don't feel like you have to rush it, is what I'm really trying to say. Don't feel like you have to see, okay, is this person my spouse? Because not everybody, as I mentioned before in a previous video, not every person that you meet, not every person that you date is your future spouse. So really take your time to get to know this person for who they are. And if things align, cool, but don't feel like you're at a loss because it's like, man, that wasn't my spouse. They may have been a great person. I know there are cases where you may find out, okay, they weren't so great, but hey, they may very well be a great person. Even if it doesn't work out between the two of you, you can still leave them better than you found them. Go your separate ways with respect, class, and dignity, so that they're not messed over for the next person that they talk to and you're not scarred. So communicate, talk, be open, be transparent, find a nice even pace so that you're getting to know one another without rushing, all right? 2, clarity. You definitely want to know as things progress, and if you're considering being exclusive with them, where is the relationship going? So if you're dating with the intention of getting married and that is your end goal, you want to be married, you definitely don't want to be with someone who is just dating just to date, and they're just trying to get back into the game and they're just trying to get to know people of the opposite sex. So you want to be clear. You want to make sure that as you're talking that there is alignment. So you definitely want to pay attention to those signs. You definitely want to pay attention to how they're talking. So if you ask them like, hey, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or hey, what are your long-term goals? Listen to those answers. Listen to those answers so that you are clear. And I definitely have to give props to my husband because he was always clear from day one. I knew that he was dating with the intention of marriage. It didn't necessarily mean it was going to be me, but I knew for a fact that he wasn't stringing me along. He wasn't just dating just to date me. He intentionally wanted to get to know me for me, to see like, okay, if we're in alignment, cool. But if not, it was great meeting you. And he was definitely clear about that from day one. And he always told me, you will never be confused about how I feel. So if there's confusion going on and you don't know where this thing is going, you may want to ask yourself, okay, if they're doing this now, Are they going to do this later? Should we continue to progress in our relationship? So my husband, if he said he was going to call me at a certain time, he called me. If he said, he was going to call, but he couldn't, he followed up with a text message, or he would say, he would just message real quick and say, hey, I know I said I was able to talk, but something came up at work, or hey, something's going on with the family. Can I call you at this time? Or can we talk tomorrow? So even if, tying into communication as well, even if things happen, because things are going to happen, you see that the person is making an effort. So this really does tie in with clarity, so that you know what you're getting into, if there's alignment or not, and you want to know if you two are going in the same direction. Finally, consistency. And this goes both ways. What I mean by that is you want to see their patterns. And consistency can mean a good thing, meaning they're a person of their word, they're clear with you, they're communicating with you, there are no red flags that are deal breakers for you, and you see things moving towards long term. Or is the consistency in the opposite direction, where you are seeing the red flags and you are seeing things that don't feel right and there is no alignment? So when you see those two things, you're gonna have to make a decision. Okay, moving forward, or like, it's been great getting to know you, but I see that we're not in alignment, and I definitely do not want to drag you along, and I definitely don't want to play with your heart, because God sees you as valuable, and I definitely don't want to do anything that's going to damage that. So I think it's best we go our separate ways. Nothing wrong with having that conversation, you all, because consistency is key. A person's patterns, that's what counts, because that's what's going to show up in marriage. If you say I do to them, you are signing up for that for life. And one thing I knew that I could sign up for life with my husband is, I know that my husband gets up every single morning. Even now, as a married couple, he gets up every single morning and he prays. He gets in his Bible, he's reading, he's taking notes, and he's taking his personal time with the Lord. He was doing that before I met him. So I saw the consistency there, because I would hear it and how he would share the word with me, and he would share with me what God was teaching him and the things that he was learning and the things that he was navigating and just exploring in the word, and God taking him higher and higher in his personal walk. I saw that consistently in dating and engagement. So I definitely see it in marriage. So you definitely want to watch the person's patterns, good or bad. A lot of people are in relationships now because they are afraid to walk away, because they buy into the lie of the enemy that this is my last chance. I'm never going to meet anybody. Or what if, it takes years for me to meet the next person? You never know what God can do. And unfortunately, we try so much to control the situation that it only ends up hurting us in the long run. So thank you all so much for spending this time with me. I pray that you were encouraged. Comment below which one of these tips you're going to be implementing, or just comment below if you're open or not to long distance relationships. Again, you never know what God can do. Your person may not be next door to you. They may be in another part of the States, maybe another part of the world, maybe in another country. You never know. So don't put God in a box. You never know how he wants to bless you. So thank you all once again. I will see you on the next video. God bless. Bye.